Hey, it's Alex from Android Central, and today we're taking a look at the all-new, all-official Samsung Galaxy Note 3. It's the third generation Note device from Samsung, just announced here in Berlin, so let's jump right in and see what's new. First up, the basic size and shape of the Note hasn't changed too drastically. On the front, you're looking at a similar design language to that of the Galaxy S4, but head around the back and things start to look a little bit different. Gone is the glossy plastic battery door of old. Instead, we got this faux leather effect with a stitched trim lining around the edge. It's unique and perhaps a little polarizing, but it does feel a lot nicer in the hand, much less slick than the S4. Around the back, you'll also find a 13 megapixel camera, and under the battery door is a gigantic 3200 mAh battery. While the dimensions are much the same, the screen has been updated to 5.7 inches, and the panel itself is a Full HD 1080p Super AMOLED. It's a really great looking screen, perhaps surpassing even the S4 in terms of brightness and clarity. On the inside, you've got a Snapdragon 800 CPU for LTE markets, or an Exynos 5 Octa chip for 3G markets. Either way, a very high-end chip. That's backed up by 3 gigs of RAM and 32 or 64 gigs of storage, expandable of course via SD card. On the software side, there's Android 4.3 Jelly Bean, and Samsung's touting the new Note as the first non-Google Experience device to ship with 4.3. It's also got the latest TouchWiz UI and a bunch of new software features centered around the S Pen stylus. When you first take the S Pen out, or when you hover over the screen with the button held down, you now get this little Air Command radial menu showing you things like the main S Pen features. There's Action Memo, which lets you write things like addresses and phone numbers and have the phone act upon them, for example in Google Maps or the Dialer app. There's a scrapbook, which lets you cut out areas of certain apps and have them saved along with accompanying metadata. So this works with various apps, including YouTube and the browser and the launcher. And the idea is it captures much more than just the basic image that you've drawn out. There's also the new S Finder app, which is a kind of a searchable catalog of everything on your phone, including written notes, which it uses optical character recognition to interpret. You can also drill down and search for time or tags, including location data or specific people. There's a bit of an overlap between what it does and Google Search's capabilities, but S Finder does much more on the actual device content rather than information from the web. There's even a My Magazine app that incorporates all of this stuff into a Flipboard-style grid. There's also some changes to the way the Note handles multitasking. You've of course got Multi-Window, which runs two apps side by side on the screen, but you can now save pairs of apps to save time when loading them back up. And to complement that, there's also Pen Window, which is the Note's way of doing windowed apps. Select it from the radial menu, draw the size of the window you want, and then select the app. You can then drag it around, make it full screen, or minimize it down to a little icon that you can move around the screen. It's pretty cool, although it does only work with a small subset of apps right now. So that's going to wrap up our first look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. There's a ton of new stuff, and we're just scratching the surface here in this first quick look video. So head over to androidcentral.com for our full write-up of the Note 3, and stay tuned for more coverage from IFA in the days ahead.